narrative sense because he had been shot earlier. And he didn't drink any special blood to make him upgraded in that time. He just realized his mom was an elder.
And he drank some of her blood, but that wouldn't make him, it wasn't enough to make him an elder. So
Yeah, that was just enough to make him believe.
Oh, you know what they could have implied here?
But everyone else drinks their blood. Do they get more powerful?
That that's a confusing thing in Underworld. Like some people seem to drink blood and get stronger. I don't know. What I think could be going on here, and it's more implied, is that when David fought the wolf in the water, and he drowned and then came back to life, and having visited the spiritual world, he came back stronger.
Whoa. Because he could already deal with sunlight.
Yeah, because he has Celine's blood.
But because of his dalliance in the super pond, he becomes super strong.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool. I mean, but they needed a sentence to say that, right? They needed something to just oh, you're upgraded. Double upgrade, actually.
I kind of feel like chump change for not picking that up now, but I'm glad you did that, and that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's also one of my favorite scenes. It's a good reverse of the shot in the first movie where Celine jumps across the stage or the scene and kills Victor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one's sort of backwards, so he cuts up. So I dug that.
I do think you're right though. They should have like Marius looks at him and goes, "How?" And then he goes, "Super pond."
Super pond.
Super jacuzzi. Yeah, like
ice bath.
Yeah, super ice bath. Oh. And then Marius just goes, "Oh," and then they just keep fighting.
I've got to get me one of those.
Super pond. Only 8 installments of $49.99.
Other things I liked Celine and Marius' first fight and how Celine just got
what?
Wrecked. But the scene
and Alexia kills her. Alexia stabs her.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome because you haven't seen Celine be scared since the beginning of the second one.
Then she goes beast mode.
Yeah, but I like that scene is when Celine has the sword and she sort of spins around on it, uses it to guide herself around in a circle. I was like, oh, that's pretty inventive. I like that. You mentioned this earlier, Thomas's sword fight scene, Charles Dance fighting, 100% into it. Love it.
Yeah.
But the thing I love most, I know just the last one, but the thing I love most about this movie is really, again, Laura Pulver. She's really having a great time in it. And I was like, oh, you brought your A game. You knew this was a B movie and you're still going for it.
Yeah, she's in Sherlock. She's a really good actress.
She is, yeah.
Or actor. She's a great actor. And yeah, this one and she's just this is, I don't think Celine is interesting in this movie. I don't think David is interesting in this movie. I don't think Cassius is interesting in this movie. I don't think Vidar is but I think Pulver is interesting in this movie because you kind of know what she just wants more power, and she's playing she plays Charles Dance, and then she plays Kate Beckinsale. But man, there's only 2 covens left, 2, and they're still warring with each other. I guess I like that because people are idiots, David.
Yeah.
I don't think people would stop being idiots when they're almost doomed to extinction. So I guess that makes sense.
You know what would have made this movie better? If you had the vampires and the werewolves going towards each other and they're snapping and music starts playing.
Oh, dude.
Everyone, that's what is that? That's a West Side
Wolves versus Vamps.
Yeah, West Side Story joke.
Oh gosh, I would love that. I'm like, man, Anita busts out, starts dancing. Also, I want to say too,
100% watch that.
when Samira is drinking the blood out of that gigantic glass chalice, and it was tainted for a while because they drugged her, the blood. So then they had to wait for that blood to get untainted,
it doesn't clog. Is it going to clog?
Yeah, I thought that was quite. But she has this gigantic glass, and she drinks 3 sips of it, then drops it on the ground and wastes it all.
I thought the same thing.
She could have given Varga some. Well, she likes being in control. But you fill up a gallon glass chalice, 8-liter glass chalice for
it's so much blood.
Pints.
And she's like, I'm full.
Bloop, bloop. But this glass is gigantic. You just needed a cup. You need a shot glass. But I love that she just had it's so theatrical, and I do love that about that scene. And then let's see.
I have a bunch of I really have a section in my notes called WTF moments. If we can, I can run down that.
Yeah, please do. Oh wait, hey, let's take a quick break, and then we'll cover the WTF moments.
Yeah,
Is that okay?
yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so we'll be right back, and then we'll cover the WTF. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And I just was laughing during our break because I do love that scene that when Alexia comes in and just starts rubbing that guard's hair, and he's like, "Oh yeah, like this is great." He's like, "Yeah." He has this big smile and snap. It's and I love that like werewolves can have their neck snapped. It's like the only way to kill a werewolf or a vampire is to shoot it in the heart, stab it in the heart, decapitate it, but like a neck snap.
Yeah, when werewolves aren't werewolves, they're weak.
Oh yeah, and then she said it's better when werewolves become werewolves, right? Because they're not as smart and they can't fire guns.
Yeah, and that answers a question we had earlier earlier in the series. So yeah, I have some WTF moments. And the first one is the movie opens with a 4-movie recap that drags on and on and on, and I'm like, this is so boring.
I wrote you were right. You sent me a message. I did the math. This is an 80-minute movie. 80 minutes. This movie's 80 minutes. Without credits in the beginning.
And did you remove the middle where David has a flashback to the scene prior? Or Celine has a so it's less than 80 minutes, Mark.
Yeah, you're right. So it's like 78 minutes. That's what you said to me.
Yeah.
That's a good That's good.
Yeah.
Right? 78-minute movie?
I'll take it. I was kind of bummed that the blood was mostly CGI. It works in some sense, but like I could have used some practical effects. I'd also say that I had to pause the movie to look up. I said this earlier, but to really look up the mythology because I was confused about natural born or pure born vampires versus non-pure born vampires. And what I found out is that very rarely vampires can have children, and they are stronger than vampires who are just turned.
Oh.
And that's why. So David is naturally a stronger vampire than normal.
But he's never shown to be
until this movie. Yeah, exactly.
I know they had to pivot, right? They had to pull a Friends when they're moving a couch and pivot when they're making this. But what other WTF moments you got for me?
During the training, everyone was facing in different directions, which is incredibly dangerous.
Yep.
They just introduced Nightshade randomly. Like, what is this? Really dark. Like, I couldn't see what was happening in this film. Like I'm like, why is it so dark? My eyes are straining here.
Keeps it cheap, right?
I guess it keeps it cheap.
CGI is cheaper. You can hide your sets.
That's really about it. It was just more along the lines of like, it felt like a lot of exposition and felt clunky. I still made it through. I don't know if this movie's better or worse than the last one. We could have that discussion. I think the last one was also very confusing. I was like, I don't understand what's going on, but I really like that end scene, the big werewolf scene. Yeah, I think the last one might be better than this one.
Yeah. So you know what's interesting? These 4 and 5 completely changed my rankings for the 5 films. Would you like to hear them?
Would you want to finally do this? Want to pivot to talk about the franchise?
Yeah, let's do that. Can I give you my ranking?
Yes.
Or do you want me to start with? I'll do one. I'll do my least favorite. Then you do your least favorite, and we'll both work down.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
Yeah. I'm gonna quickly do them in my head.
My least favorite's Blood Wars because it's just it's not Celine's movie at all. Now, are the performances better in it? Are there? I don't think there's any good action set pieces. But yeah, it's not a Celine movie, so I'm taking this out completely. Blood Wars is my least favorite.
Yeah, same. We just talked about that. So this would be my 4th. Like we're moving down towards 1. That would have to be Awakenings. So
yep, 4th.
Yeah,
because it's more of a Celine movie at least, right?
Yeah, it's more of a Celine movie. I do actually dig that final fight scene. I think it's kind of fun. The plot is so difficult to understand, though. You're just like, what is happening in this? You only go to 3 locations. Not my favorite.
I like when she levels the van in Awakening. That's a cool, like she goes full beast mode on that. Now I'm going to do my 3rd. And you know what? I'm just going to go with my heart. I'm going to say Underworld 3, Rise of the Lycans.
Okay. Your 3rd, really? I thought that'd be higher for you.
I know that I'm going with my heart. It's a better movie than the second one. But the 3rd one is fine. And I think the final sword fight between Michael Sheen and Bill Nighy is beautiful. But as far as action scenes, I'm going to put it at 3. That's what I'm going. Okay. I'm doing it.
Yeah, my number 3 is The second one, like
Evolution.
yeah, Evolution. There's some parts that I really like. I like the helicopter death scene at the
Yeah.
end. I forget his name now. The hybrid, the original hybrid. Like I think it's a cool costume.
Marcus?
Yeah, I think it might be Marcus. Yeah, like so that's another thing. Like these names do not stick in my head. Other than the scene with
No.
Celine and Michael and Victor, like no one else's name sticks. But it is a little kind of clunky. Like it's not as fun as the first one, and I had really high expectations. I know it has a rotten rating. Like, I kind of dig it. What's your number two?
It's going to be Evolution.
Okay.
Just simply because Celine is awesome in it.
Mm-hmm.
If you just look at her character, she saves Michael. Then she's doing the car chase where she smashes Marcus, right? Yeah, Marcus, into the wall. And then she gets the immortal blood. And I love how she becomes this uber Celine who rips werewolves' heads and just she owns scenes in this movie, which I love about her. She just becomes essentially a Terminator, and that final set piece with the helicopter crashing with the blades, where she's just ripping people up. That's like peak Beckinsale. That's peak. She's at her most comfortable as an action star in two.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So So I've ranked this really low, but after watching 4 and 5, I love 2 more. I like 2 a lot more.
Same. Yeah, yeah. It is more competent and more interesting. Like it just more going on, and it's not bogged down by all the mythology. My number 2 is number 3. I think that is an extremely competent movie. I like it. I wish if it would have come out earlier, I would have liked it even more. But it felt like a sort of a rehash of the first one, just with swords. But I still think it's good, and I do actually like that fight scene where they're hanging from the chains at the end. And Reyes is one of my favorite characters. Like I can't not have Reyes be ranked higher.
Yeah, he's cool. Oh, so yeah, Tony Curran was Marcus. So I'm glad we figured that out. And then I will say, both our number ones is just the first Underworld, because it's moody. And okay, I think it features not iconic like the ending shot of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, or the finale of Being There, or the Joker hanging out of the cop car. Not iconic in that means, but iconic in this regards, with her doing her superhero landing, and her shooting her way through the floor, her doing the jump and slice of Victor. There are some not like uber iconic, not like an uber werewolf, but there's some pretty iconic imagery, and it's a cool world, and it's an original world. The werewolf scene with the whips, I mean, that's cool. Dude gets ripped up, but that's a great trailer moment.
Yeah.
So won by far. I mean, won by a country mile. Yeah. That's for sure.
It does a great job of capturing the aesthetic of a time period, the feel of a time period in 2003, 2002, 2004, like this angsty, dark, kind of angry undertone of everything. Yeah, I really like it, and I know it has a rotten rating, but I disagree. I think it's good.
You know what's crazy? The audience score on Tomatoes goes exactly with my ranking. So it goes 79 for the first one, 72 for Evolution, then it goes 63 for Lycans, 62 for Awakening, and then Blood Wars is 49. It's rotten.
Yeah.
So as far as audience scores, Blood Wars is the only audience rated rotten one.
Yeah, it's not good. Just be honest. Like if you, I hate doing that though. Like if you really love this movie, don't let my opinion sway you. Love your movies, man. That's one of the things I've learned doing this for all these years. Just
there's a lot to love about it though.
Yeah, there is.
Okay, we're laughing about it, but I also think we've seen Celine be backtracked in it, and we've the mythology is just not tight. So the costumes, the looks, like you said, probably the most attractive cast of all 5. There's a lot to like. But I think, the way we're talking too, this is the lowest score on IMDb as well. So I guess objectively, this is the lowest grossing, lowest rated. I mean, it has a higher tomato meter score than the second one. The second one, Evolution, has a 17. But overall, if you combine all the scores, this last one has the lowest. So
I don't understand why the second one has the lowest. I really don't. I think it's expectations. Like they came in, like everyone's like, "Oh, the first one's kind of fun," and then it was like, "Well, this is not the first one again."
Yeah. But you watch 4 and 5, and you're like, "Oh, okay, it's cool." But that's not really how reviews work. But I'm telling you, Blood Wars